The closer a man is to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. This is a quote by Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors who have ever lived on this earth. And it sums up what I'm going to talk to you about in this video today really well. So if you're a man who easily gets angry, I'll show you how to manage your temper better. Hey, I'm Moreno Zugaro and welcome to today's video about anger. Let me tell you a little story about me when I was a kid to kick things off. When I was younger, I easily got angry. Whenever something didn't go my way, I started screaming, I threw things and toys, I ripped books apart. I was difficult to say the least. It got so bad that my teacher hung up a sheet of paper on the classroom wall and wrote down "rage sheet" on it. And whenever I got into a fit, I was supposed to go there, rip it from the wall, crumple it up and, put all my energy and aggression into it. Well, I threw chairs instead, so that didn't really work out. My anger issues carried on way into my adolescent and even some of my adult years. And although they got less and less, I still fell into old patterns every now and then. And when something provoked me or I got upset about something, I could easily, really push myself into it and go through spiral and the whole thing would escalate. Easily getting angry can wreak havoc on your life, I'll tell you that. You might not even notice it, but it's absolute poison for the relationships with the people around you. They don't like being around someone who screams all the time or who easily throws a fit or who behaves like a 4-year-old. It's also a waste of time and energy. Instead of looking for a solution to a problem, you just rage and throw fits and scream for half an hour, and at the end you're exhausted, but the situation hasn't improved one bit. It also messes with your ability to think long term and to make more rational decisions. Because when you're angry, you're very much in the moment. It's an emotion that demands instant gratification. You're angry about something right now, so you have to let it out right now. Anger means you destroy things instead of building them up. That's not the path to creating your dream life, whatever you want it to look like. So if you really want to become the best version of the man you can be, you need to find a way to deal with your anger and to handle your temper. So where does your anger come from? Why do you get angry? Anger is usually born in frustration. And frustration results from being in a situation in which you can't do anything about it, like being stuck in traffic, or having to stay longer because your coworker messed up or your boss is an idiot. Or maybe your girlfriend said something to you which you think is stupid. It might also be the result of unresolved underlying issues that cause you to be frustrated because you can't address them and you don't know what's wrong. There is a super important difference between being angry and letting your anger out. See, when you find yourself in a situation that frustrates you, like being stuck in a traffic jam, it causes an emotion. You get angry. And this emotion then often leads to the reaction of letting your anger out. You honk your horn, you scream, you hammer away at your steering wheel or whatever it is. And it's this difference between the emotion and the reaction that makes the difference between strong and weak men. See, there's no point in suppressing your emotions. They have feedback mechanisms. They tell you how you feel about something that goes on in the world around you. If you get angry about something, there's a reason for that, and you should acknowledge that emotion. But as you acknowledge this emotion, you also have to acknowledge that you can choose how you react to it. If you let your anger control you, if you give in to that emotion blindly, then you are weak. Your anger controls you. You give power over yourself to an external event. But if you instead acknowledge your emotion, but then say, I know I'm angry, but I can choose how I react to it, and I choose not to let my anger out. That is true strength and tranquility. This is very different from suppressing your emotions. And I'll give you a little example so you understand what I mean. Your emotions are like a dog that you walk. Most of the time they're pretty calm, the dog might sniff here and there and be interested in this or that, but most of the time it's smooth sailing. The thing is, if you walk the dog on an incredibly short leash and you don't give it a bit of space to roam, neither you nor the dog will have a lot of fun. The dog will always be constrained and you'll always be struggling to hold it back. On the other hand, if you just take your dog off the leash and let it run wherever it wants to run to, but it isn't trained properly, it will run off into the forest and you have to chase it, you have to go after it, you have to catch it. So your emotions lead you where they want to go. You are not the master of your own emotions. What you need to do instead is to have that dog properly trained. You can let it roam, but you have to know that it comes back if you blow the whistle. It's the same with emotions. Suppressing them leads to an incredibly dull life and a lot of mental health issues. And the thing is, you can't suppress your emotions selectively. You can't say, I don't feel anger, but I feel joy. That doesn't work. At the same time, if you don't learn how to handle your emotions and how to react with rationale to them, you will be a slave to them. Your dog will lead you where it wants to go instead of you being the owner and the master. Your goal should be to acknowledge and feel your emotions, but instead of giving in to them and reacting blindly, act with rationality. Let's say you agreed to meet with a friend and your friend is making you wait. And after 20 minutes, you get a bit upset. After half an hour, you get angry. And then when he finally shows up 1 hour late, you've got two choices. You can either unleash all your anger on him. You can scream at him, you can cuss him out, you can tell him he's a bad friend and how he could make you wait. Or you can acknowledge your anger. You can say to yourself, yes, I feel angry and I'm upset and I've got all right to feel this way. But you can choose to react in a way that makes you better off. Why should you be miserable and angry because of something he did? Why should you willingly harm yourself and make your day worse because someone else messed up? You'll still get your point across if you react in a calm but assertive way. He'll respect you much more because you stay calm in the face of adversity, and you'll build a deeper connection. And you'll save yourself a ton of headaches and don't waste your time and energy. Okay guys, the point that I really want to drive home with you today is that you have to choose how you react to your emotions. A situation will lead to a certain emotion, but then the reaction to that emotion, that is entirely up to you. You might get frustrated and you might be angry, but letting out that anger or staying calm is your choice. And it's this exact choice that makes a difference between strong and weak men. Because strong men aren't controlled by their emotions. They acknowledge them and they feel them, but they know that they have the power of their own mind to decide how they react. This is obviously all fine and dandy, but the problem is when you get angry, you don't think of that whole thing. You don't think of my video. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you're gonna start screaming. You hit your toe on your desk and you're gonna start screaming and banging the desk. So how can you be more mindful about what's going on? How can you stop yourself in your tracks before you get into a fit of rage and before you start screaming and before it's too late? You need to be more aware of yourself. Management guru Peter Drucker has said, you can't manage what you can't measure. And it's absolutely true. How do you want to manage your anger if you're not aware of the fact that you're getting angry until it's too late? So to cultivate this awareness, you can, for example, start practicing meditation. It doesn't have to be much and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. But if you start with 5 minutes in the morning where you just sit down, close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and feel inside of yourself and feel how you feel, that's already a step into the right direction and will carry over into your day-to-day life. The second thing is a little trick that I don't only use for anger management, but it works really well here. It's that simple. You just take a pen and you write a little letter down in your hand, somewhere where you can see it. For example, I chose C for control because I'm in control of my reactions. Your hands are the body part you look at most often. And every time you look at them, you'll see that little letter or the symbol you wrote down there. And you'll remember that you are able to choose how you react to your emotions. And that little trick alone has saved me so many headaches and so many fits of rage and so much screaming. And is really, if you're struggling with getting angry easily, and if you're struggling with temper, I know it's hard. I know it can be really hard, and the littlest thing can often set you off. So that's something that really can help you manage your temper better. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I could help you handle your anger and your emotions in a better and healthier way today. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. And if you want more content around handling your emotions, building superior relationships, and becoming the man you want to be, check out my blog and my Instagram. I'll leave a link down to them in the description, and you can also sign up for my newsletter. I'll send it out every 2 weeks. It only takes 5 minutes to read, but it's filled with actionable and practical advice that will help you become the man you want to be. I'll see you next time. Thank you.